What's going on? Born for Sports. And tonight on the OG Knicks Fan Show, the New York Knicks with a very gritty, solid, come from behind second half win against the Houston Rockets. A little get back tonight, a little get back from early in the season when they dropped the game in Houston, but it was a gritty win. And I'm happy to see the Knicks step up with an undermanned team on the Houston side of the ball, but also the Knicks were undermanned as well. Again, OG Anunoby did not play, injured his last game against the LA Lakers. And listen, it wasn't an easy game. That Houston Rocket team is a good young team, man. A good young team. They play defense. And you know what? They made the Knicks work for it tonight. This was a real gritty win tonight for the New York Knicks. And I'm happy about it because they showed that they can win in different ways. And when you're a good team and you want to be a contender, it's not always going to be pretty the way you win games. You got to find ways to win these kind of games that when things ain't going great, you find a way. You find a way. When the other team just has all the answers for most of the game, first half or whatever, hey, you find a way to step them in the second half, and the Knicks did that tonight. Knicks beat the Rockets 124-118 to now be 33-17 on the season, and they complete a 4-1 homestand versus the Western Conference teams, and a lot of very good Western Conference teams, I might add, on this homestand. Okay. Hey, Houston, they came in with third in the conference. Third in the conference, a better record than the Knicks. Just like the other day, the Knicks went out and they played a Memphis Grizzlies team that had a better record than them. And even though they smacked around the Grizzlies, tonight was not the case. The Knicks had to make adjustments. I thought the first half was tough for them in the first half, especially defensively. The energy just wasn't there. The rotations just weren't there. We'll get more into that about that. But a real good, solid win tonight for the New York Knicks, man. And I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. This is a game they could have, coming off the Laker game, where they lost Saturday night, not their best effort. In the second half, they really felt the absence of OG Anunoby defensively. LeBron had his way Saturday night. So I thought this was a very important game for them to get back off the mat and get back to doing what they do and have been doing despite not being 100% and adjusting to the loss, especially defensively, of OG Anunoby. Let's get to the comments. Clip checking in. What's goody, bro? What's going on, Clip? Appreciate you checking in, man. Very good win tonight for those New York Knicks, man. And, last year, we saw a lot of games last year where they would grind those wins out. Absolutely grind wins out because they had to. Because with the injuries that they played with, last year, go back to last year, we lost Randall for most of the second half of the season. We made the trade for OG. He missed time. So a lot of games, the Knicks had to grind out wins, and they did that tonight. They did it. They showed they're still capable of it. You know what I'm saying? And it was tremendous. It was a tremendous win. Yeah, best win of the season. Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there for best win of the season, man, because this was a grind, man. This was not easy. The Knicks had to fight, scratch, and claw for every inch in that second half, especially in the fourth quarter. Let's talk about it. They were down 11 after three quarters, and the Knicks went out there and outscored the Rockets 46-29 in the fourth quarter. 46 points in the fourth quarter? 46. That's a lot in the fourth quarter. And let's be honest, a lot of games this season, the Knicks have actually worn down in the fourth quarters of games they lost, okay? This was not the case tonight. This was a gritty, gut check win, and they dug deep in that second half and stepped up, especially in that fourth quarter, man. That's a tremendous win tonight, in my opinion, man. Tremendous win. Let's go to the chat as well again. Yes, sir. Eric checking in. Orange and blue skies, baby. And bar fight. He says bar fight. Definitely was a bar fight, man. This was one of them grind out games, man. This is that Knicks team DNA type of win from last couple of years. They just fight you with grit to the end. And tonight they showed they still have the capability of it. Let's be honest. This season, the Knicks have kind of been more of a better offensive team because of the skill players they possess now on this team. And, the offense, as I mentioned many times this season, when they're right, they're elite. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league, and all we need is for the defense to just keep getting better and catch up somewhat to what the offense is capable of doing. Well, you know what? Tonight, the offense was elite only in one quarter tonight. Okay? The defense was not good in the first half, but they took it back a calendar year tonight in the second half and stepped up defensively, I thought, and gritted really a big time grind out, gritty win tonight. And I loved it. It's just good to see the Knicks, because the good teams, man, they find ways, man. They find ways to win. It's not always going to be pretty every night. You're not going to stop everybody by 30 a night. You're not going to always, drop 130, 140 every night to get your wins. You got to find ways to win, especially when you have some injuries in key positions. And I loved it, man. I love this game. Okay. And the reason why we won tonight is the player of the game. The captain would not let us lose tonight. He would not let us lose. And that's why he's a superstar. And that's why he's an all-star starting player. And that's why he is the captain of this basketball team. Jalen Brunson, 42 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. And I'm telling you right now, we needed every bit of that stat line tonight from him to get this win. Okay? Because, listen, Houston, they came to play, man. Their defense was relentless tonight, especially in that first half. Okay? They killed us on the glass tonight as well. Okay? We needed every bit of it tonight from the captain, and he did it. And in my opinion, this was the best game that he has played this season. And I know he had a double nickel game against the Wizards, I believe, early in the season. But this was by far his best game to me. And it's not even like a knock or anything like that, because he's been great all year. Even for the most part, as he's supposed to be. Now, last game at Saturday night, he didn't have his best game. He didn't have his best game against the Lakers. And usually if the captain has an off game, the next game he's coming with fire and vengeance. And he did that tonight. What a performance for the captain. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Shout out to the all-star starter and the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. And I don't care what anyone says. You can give me whoever you want. It's not up for debate. Everyone that knows it knows, who watches the game, true ball heads know, Jalen Brunson is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. And it's not just because he got voted in to the All-Star game for the haters out there or anyone else that thinks otherwise. He's been that guy. He's been him since last season. He has been him. It's just now he's getting the recognition he deserves. It'd be nice if the refs treat him like one, but that's a story for another day, okay? I'm just happy we got the win. It would be nice if the refs treated him like the superstar he is, because he is a superstar. He is a superstar in the NBA, and he showed every bit of it tonight, as he's done most nights. Blaze, A-Mac checking in. I'm going to need Cat to jump straight up, man. Some of these fouls weren't needed. Yeah, man. Yeah. as we've said time and time, and it's frustrating because Cat is he's an all NBA player and also the best center in the Eastern Conference this year. But his one bugaboo is his foul prone tendencies. And sometimes he just gets a little foul prone out of control, and the refs are clearly targeting him and looking for it. And he's got to just learn to just let the game come to you and not do these foolish fouls sometimes. It's like he stops himself, man. It's been that way this season. It's for the most part, I have not seen a lot of teams able to stop Cat when he's right. For the most part, man, he just has it. It's been two things. It's been himself with the foul trouble and his finger injury that he's playing through. Other than that, Cat has been that dude. He's got, like A-Max said, I totally agree with you, bro. He's got to chill. He's got to learn to jump straight up and know when to jump. Also, like, pick and choose your battles, dude. You're not going to block everything. You're not going to block everything, man. But when you have to be the presence in the middle, jump straight up, man. Most of the time, they're going to give you that call. He's got to be better at that. Let's talk about Cat's game because, as on cue, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, but he fouled out. And he had a good game tonight. Cat bounced back from having an off game on Saturday against the Lakers, and as I've said, he's playing through a finger injury. He's getting through it, but it's the fouls, man. He's got to learn to channel that out of his game. Tibbs and them have been public about it. They've been working with him about it, but it's got to get better because when he's doing what he does, he's basically unstoppable as position. And the 3-point shooting has been off since this finger injury he's had, and he's working through some things. But he had a real good second half and helped spark this comeback. So shout out to Cat. But, man, get better with them fouls, man. Get better with them fouls, bro, for real. And go back to the comments. And big task at hand. Brunson is faster than a speeding bullet. And just when you thought that it was not possible, just when you thought it was hopeless, Brunson puts the whole garden on his back. And that's exactly what he did tonight, Taz. That's exactly what he did tonight. And listen, the great players do it. The superstars do it. They know when to adapt the game to what the team needs to come out on top. And he saw it tonight. He said, no, I'm going to will us, okay? I'm going to will us to this win. That first half was for the team. They just couldn't. They were having problems stopping, Houston's transition game, the length, the athleticism. Defensively, they were giving this team problems. But Jalen Brunson in the second half said, no. It's my game tonight. I'm going to lead us. Let's go, guys. I'm going to lead us. And it was a beautiful sight to see, man. It's a beautiful sight to see. Imagine if the refs actually gave him the proper foul call treatment he should be getting. He probably would have had 50 tonight. He's like that. And he was like that tonight, for sure. Cliff says, this is the type of win I like to see. They had a grind out, a comeback from behind victory from a tough opponent. Yeah, man, they gotta show that they still have that capability. Listen, the Knicks last year were a very good team, solid, good team in the conference. But they knew they had to play a certain kind of way to make up for certain positions that were lacking talent to compete against the tougher tier teams. And they did it for the most part. They got to the second seed. And they got to the second seed and into the playoffs. So a game 7 where they could have got to the Eastern Conference Finals with that kind of a grit. And it's good to see they are still capable of showing and turning it on. It's in there. It's in there. It might not be consistent like it's been the last couple of years with the grittiness and toughness and defensively, but they showed it in spurts. They still have it in them, man. They still have it in them, especially in that second half, man. That second half, they were so much better, especially that fourth quarter, man. That fourth quarter was good, man. Cliff says, yes, Houston had players out, and we're missing OG. We haven't had Bigfoot all season. Cat fouled out. This type win builds character. How about Tibbs giving Porty some significant burn? Hashtag minutes police. Yes, sir. I thought Porty, he had a nice little spurt in there, man. I think, listen, if with Bigfoot Mitch not going to be able to beat for a while. Now, we all heard today he was finally cleared for contact. Well, whoop-de-doo, finally he's been cleared for contact. How ironic, though, right before the trade deadline is approaching. But he has been cleared for contact, so we all know it's going to be a little while for when he gets on the court. If he's not traded or whatever the case is, there's rumors out there. But Huck Porty is a guy I think we're going to have to – Tibbs is going to have to start trusting him, man. Because, listen, y'all know I'm not the Jericho Sims guy. If you're looking for some Jericho Sims love, you're not going to get much of it from me. Huck Porty has shown that he is capable of at least being a presence defensively, rebounding. He blocks shots. And I thought, like Cliff mentioned, he had a nice little spurt when he got into the game, when Towns got into foul trouble. So let's see going forward, we use him more because Precious got the start tonight at the 4. He got the start. So we're gonna need some minutes from one of our backup bigs to come off the bench. And it's got to either come from Sims or it's got to come from Huck Porty. And I'm glad, Sims did get in the game for a couple, not long, not long at all, really. Thought he had played like a few seconds in the game. Stat check me on that. But Huck Porty came in and had a little impact when he was in the game. So let's hope that Tibbs will give him more of a chance because we're going to need it. Because if Precious is going to start, hey, listen, I think also Precious starting should be matchup dependent. Houston's a team, I understood why they started Precious. I did. I understood that because they are a very good rebounding team and they're length ballers teams. So, yeah. So, shout out to Precious, making an impact best he could tonight. But, yeah, I'd like to see Huck Porty get more minutes. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man, for sure. So as far let's break down this game, man. I thought my unsung hero tonight was Mikal Bridges, man. 22 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Hey, shout out to Mikal Bridges, man. And he rolled his ankle also during the game in the second half and stood in for the most part and went out there and toughed it out as best as he could, before giving minutes to Deuce in the fourth quarter. But I thought Mikal Bridges, when the game was kind of teetering on getting away from the Knicks, especially when Brunson was on the bench, after Brunson was basically carrying the team, keeping us in the game, Mikal did very good tonight. And again, stepping up when we needed him. We had Cat in foul trouble, okay? And Brunson was doing all he could. And then after a while, Houston said, F it, we're going to have to send these double teams at the captain and make someone else beat him. Mikal Bridges was the guy that helped beat them tonight. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, man. Big impact. Let's just hope that ankle, that roll-up ankle isn't a severe injury in the sense of he'll miss some time. We're coming up against towards the All-Star break after this week. So guys are kind of trying to get to the finish line, besides Brunson and Cat, obviously, who are going to go to the All-Star game and start. Guys like Mikal Bridges, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Big performance tonight when we needed him, man, especially without OG. We're going to need his defense, his wing defense, which was good tonight. We're going to need his scoring outcome and output on most nights now, okay? Because now we're down a scorer in this offense, especially with OG being so good on the fast break, have the most dunks on the team, and also amongst the league leaders in corner three-pointers made. So Mikal Bridges, the microscope's going to be on him to pick up the slack until OG is ready to come back, as he missed today's game. And they said, reports came out, he had a mild sprain. a mild sprain of the foot. But listen, we all know the history, the injury history to OG, so it's got to be something we got to monitor going forward. But I'm glad to hear it's day-to-day and a mild foot sprain. Mild the key. If I'm the Knicks, I'm sitting OG until after the All-Star break. I'm not even fucking around with that. I'm not. He's too important to this team. And as you saw in the second half against the Lakers when he went out, and as you saw for the most part in this game, he is a very important piece to this team, especially defensively. He does so much for this team. I'm not even fucking around. Just sit him to the end of after the All-Star break and have him ready to go. He's too important to this team. So hopefully the Knicks do that. But we'll see going forward, man, for sure. We'll see going forward. But shout out to Mikal Bridges with the big-time performance tonight. Also, Cliff says, I want to see Mitch posting up and not just posting cryptic messages or hunting on monster truck pics on IG. Yeah. I need to see him get out there and go be what we need him to be. If we're not going to trade him for a wing scorer off the bench, which is, in my opinion, is a big need for this team for going forward if they want to contend for a title. It's the missing piece, in my opinion, is a scoring wing who can create his own shot off the bench. That's what's missing. If you're not going to trade him for that piece, Mitch has to be a defensive demon on that end of the court. He's got to, because we all know he's limited offensively. He's not going to give you much offensively besides offensive rebounding and some dunks. He's not that kind of player. So we need that defensive intensity, especially if OG is going to be out. So listen, we'll see. In my opinion, I'm not going to lose no sleep if they trade him for the missing wing piece that this team covers for the 6-man role on the bench, off the bench. But if you keep him, I need to see him on the court. Enough of the shenanigans, enough of the social media posts and all of that. Normally, I don't care and get into none of that stuff. Players want to post stuff on social media, whatever. I just can't stand players that post more on social media than play games on the court or the field. All right, so let's see if we can get them back, and hopefully it won't be too long. And, to be realistic about it as well, they're gonna have to manage Mitch for the rest of the season, man. It took them this long to get back from that procedure in the offseason. If you're not trading him, it's about getting him to the playoffs. And, his condition is not going to be there when he gets back. His game shape is not going to be there. It's going to take a while for him to even be a factor. So, like the factor that we expect him to be. So, but we all know what he brings. Probably, if not the best offensive rebounding big, he's right there with anyone. So let's see what happens there. This Knicks offense tonight was pretty good, man. The first half wasn't great, but the second half was better, thanks to Jalen Brunson rescuing this team and doing what a captain, MVP caliber superstar does. But the Knicks offense was solid for the most part in the second half. 24 assists, as a team. 80 points in the paint, which is what I like in the sense of the reason why I'm showcasing also 80 points in the paint, why I love that, is because they saw, as you see, they were only 6 for 26 from 3. And it's very rare that this Knicks team wins games where they do not shoot or make a lot of three-point shots, as many teams in the league, because that's kind of the way the NBA is played now with the three-point shooting. They said, okay, it's not working outside. We're going to take advantage of matchups. They didn't have Sengun, so they didn't have, that to really have to deal with on the defensive end. So, Sengun's not that great a defensive player, but he will make you work offensively. He's a very talented scoring big at the 5. So 80 points in the paint, that's a good thing for the Knicks, okay? Because they're so versatile offensively, man, that if they just let the game come to and take what the defense gives them, there's still going to be a problem offensively, as long as they don't fall in love with the 3 when it's not working. too many times this year in the losses they had early in the season, they did that. Well, since they have turned it around now, gotten it together and winning games, they have seen, okay, if we're not hitting from three, we're going to go to the rack. And that's exactly what they did. 80 points in the paint. Hey, good job by the Knicks doing that. They shot 50% from the field because of that, because they were so off from 3 points. But man, that was a good job by the Knicks, not falling in love with that. And listen, this is a good defensive team from Houston, man. They're good defensively. They frustrate you. They have length. They guard. Okay? They guard. Udoka, their coach, he knows what he's doing defensively, man, even with his days in Boston. We know that. And he's got the kind of players that he can run his defensive sets and his scheme, and they are tough to beat. And if you just go out there trying to chuck threes all game, well, it's going to be a long day when you ain't hitting them. Shout out to the Knicks recognizing that and going to what was working. OG not there. Help, it hurt the Knicks offensively, but I'm glad to see they made adjustments. That's all you can ask. Cliff says, co-sign, shelf OG until after the All-Star game. We'll float until then, and Tibbs can see what he can get from the rest of the bench. They got to step up. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've said many times they got to make a move for the bench if they want to really, really solidify their turn to make this run in the playoffs. But if they can't, and it's going to be tough to make trades because of the whole tax, the whole luxury tax apron and the new CBA apron rules, I'm looking at that buyout market. I saw the Bulls made a couple of moves today with Craig hit the market. There's some talk that maybe that he might be a guy the Knicks might be interested, but we'll see how that goes going forward. But until we see that, the Knicks have to go with what they have, and Tibbs has to play him. I'm going to be honest. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing from Shaman. He's just not getting it going enough for me. He's borderline unplayable right now for this bench. I mean, he gives effort defensively. Don't get me wrong. Gives effort defensively. But he doesn't have the size defensively to play the three, And if he's not hitting them trays, man, it's tough to justify keeping him out there. It's tough. Because Shaman's not a facilitated type of player either. So we need him to get going. We need this bench to step up. Deuce was solid tonight. He made a contribution tonight. He's been starting to find it the last couple of games, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Campaign was kind of off. He was off tonight. Didn't make an impact tonight. We need consistency from this bench, man, especially if Precious is going to move into the star lineup with OG out. So, yes, I definitely agree with you, Cliff. I definitely agree with you 100%. 100%. Let's give some love to Josh Hart, man. The most underrated role player in the league, and to me, the best role player in the East, in my opinion. 19 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. We all know what he brings defensively with the rebounding. And he is just so good in the open floor on the fast break. A majority of the fast break points were because of Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart, our 90s Knick, our glue player, one of the most important pieces of this team with another solid performance tonight. Stepping it up in the place offensively for OG, making it up for it, and defensively as well. Shout out to Josh Hart. This man just does not get enough credit in the league, man. I was hoping he would have snuck in that All-Star game, but and get selected by coaches around the league, but tough to do with so many, great players with better stats out there that is getting a spot. So, it was unlikely, didn't expect it, was hoping for a miracle for him because he just brings so much to this team, man. And just such an underrated piece, man, for sure. For sure. Knicks defense tonight had 9 steals and forced 11 turnovers, much better in the second half. As I mentioned earlier, the first half energy just was not there. It just was not there. they're a good young athletic team over there in Houston. They're tough to beat, and even with the players that they didn't have out there, Van Fleet didn't play, Sengun didn't play. Hey, they still got a lot of young, talented players out there that can give you fits, and that's exactly what they were doing in that first half. And for the most part of this game, they fought us tooth and nail. So the Knicks defense, I thought in the second half was much, much better. The energy was up. And as I mentioned early in the show, man, the Knicks have shown in the past when they lose games, they wear down in the fourth quarter in the games they've lost. Tonight, they scored 46 in the fourth quarter, okay, and played much better defensively. So shout out to the Knicks doing that tonight, man. Shit. But that's going to wrap up the show tonight. Just a good quality win for this Knicks team, man, And I just want to also point out tonight, they went 4-1 in this homestand against the Western Conference teams. And out of those games, there was some contenders there, okay? I know Houston wasn't 100% tonight, but they're a contender in the West, and they're still tough. They've been beating teams with these guys out that they had tonight. So this is not a slouch. They beat them tonight. They smacked around Memphis in our building, which is one of the best teams in the West as well, and they handled Denver, okay? The only loss on this homestand, they beat Sacramento as well, also mentioned, was a good playoff caliber team. But at the time, before the trade, they made Fox. We'll see going forward with that. But, hey, the only loss was against the Lakers Saturday night. And in a game that OG, basically, they lost OG in the second half, which is a big deal. LeBron went off. But listen, let's cut all that. The Knicks don't be good team stuff, okay? All right? All the haters out there, cut it out. That's a myth. The Knicks have been beating good teams. They just needed to beat more elite teams when they had their chances, and and they still are a work in progress team. So let's just keep getting better. And it was a real good win tonight, and let's learn and grow from it. And hopefully, we get to the All-Star break in good shape. As far as the next game, before we wrap it up tonight, the next game is tomorrow night at Toronto. This is a back-to-back. We all know the situation with the Knicks. It's tough for them on back-to-backs. They have not been great on the second game of a back-to-back. They've eked out some wins against inferior opponents when you would think they would take care of business. Tired legs, you can put whatever you want out there. It's a factor for the Knicks. They're going to have a tough game against Toronto tomorrow night. His old friend RJ and Quickly should be ready to go. It's a road game. Hey, this is not going to be an easy game for the Knicks, as we know. Without OG as well defensively, not going to be an easy game for the Knicks, but a game they should win. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can get that done tomorrow night against old friend RJ and Quickly in Toronto. So that's going to wrap it up tonight, man. Knicks get an impressive win, and an impressive second half performance and win tonight, and an impressive homestand. 4-1 against the Western Conference, man. And, let's see what we can do and grow from this. Third in the conference and move on to 33-17 on the season. So before we go, I just want to ask for those that are new to the channel and to the show, I ask that you do one favor. I ask that you like and subscribe to the channel, Ball for Sports, because I talk all sports. I talk NBA. As you can see, big-time Knicks fan, New York Knicks, big win, charging up the ranks in the Eastern Conference. I talk about baseball, MLB, big-time New York Met fan. Hey, pitches and catches coming in a few days. We're going to get started on that soon. Best believe that. I talk New York Giants football. Big-time Giant fan, big-time Met fan, big-time Knicks fan. Hey, Giants off-season, Super Bowl coming. About to be, hopefully, it's been a Giant season from hell, and it's finally coming to an end with the Super Bowl Sunday, but we're going to definitely get into a lot more content about what the Giants, I should say, with the draft coming in the offseason and the combine and free agency. I talk all sports. I talk Yankees. I talk Nets. I talk Rangers. I talk whatever you want to talk about in the world of sports, especially New York sports. Shout out to everyone tapped in. Let's go Knicks. Like and subscribe to Born for Sport.